Hello and welcome. It's Howard from Bali Beginnings, and today I'm here with our fantastic psychotherapist, Gabi. Studied a master's in psychology before moving to psychotherapy. So, very, very pleased and excited to have you on the team. And you were actually one of our fantastic interns who joined, and we loved your work so much, and you're in a position to, because actually we haven't had a bad intern, but some people are halfway through their course, etc., etc. We asked you to stay,
Yeah,
and we're
yeah,
very happy with that
yeah,
decision.
yeah, me too.
And you've been here working on the team, not an intern, for just over a year now.
hmm
How does that feel?
Yeah, it's incredible to be honest, because I was working with clients before the rehab, but I didn't have any experience with addiction specifically. So that internship already meant a lot to me. I felt that I learned so much, and already having some exposure to people who have an addiction in my life. It was personal. It felt that I can understand some tendencies better, because there's one thing learning it in school, and there's another thing in actually seeing people in the rehab. But yeah, I think those few months were the core of me understanding addiction, like truly understanding
Mm,
addiction. But then the work over the past year, with such a big variety of people, we've been full the whole time. The rehab has been full the whole
pretty
time.
much, yeah, almost.
And and to see so many different people with so many different sufferings, and having a chance to direct them into a better life, that's rewarding. I
Mm.
think that's the core thing for me over the past year, that how rewarding it has been. It's been growth, it's been challenging. I'm not gonna
That's
lie,
like that.
but it's so rewarding to see when people actually do finally do better. And I'm also very grateful for the fact that we have the aftercare, so we can still not only help
Mm.
people, but we can also see the fruits of what we're doing in here, right? So there is that side that like the clients get, but there is what we get, to be able to see that they are recovering, they are doing better. So yeah.
I call that the unintended consequence
Yeah.
that I never thought of when I was dreaming and scheming of this idea after COVID.
Mm-hmm.
Just thought about putting that on for them. I just didn't even dawn on me how great it would be seeing these people grow, occasionally stumble, but slowly but surely progress if that's their intention, slowly continue the growth, because it is continual growth. Someone said to me the other day on a podcast, Carl, instead of mental health, mental fitness. And it is, mental fitness because we have to get fit, the rehab, and then we maintain our fitness, which doesn't need the same intensity, but it needs maintenance, right? Because guess what? And I'm not the biggest meditation fan, even though I've done a lot. It's not an excuse, I still do some. But when I do a regular amount of meditation and breath work, my head's a lot calmer. When I don't, my overthinking starts triggering in more, and I get a lot more thoughts, and I can't sleep as easily always. Or so it's funny, I have to maintain even the stuff I don't like. It's easy to maintain the stuff I like breath work,
Yeah.
somewhat going to the gym. I somewhat, even then that's debatable, but I maintain it well. I maintain it well. I wish I could be one of the people who was excited
Yeah.
about going to the gym, but I'm going off topic. But you mentioned, and it's interesting, before Dave made us relocate, you mentioned or adjust our seating. You just mentioned, having had family and close ones, living with this kind of illness. And I actually paused on the before we talk because I can't mention that. I can't talk about that. It's not my place to raise that. It's very much your thing, and it's personal to raise that. And I'm not going to go into any depth, but yeah, it does give us a unique insight and a unique understanding. And working in this actually, for me, has brought me a level of peace with some of those people and some of those things because I understand it
Yeah.
deeper. And
Yeah.
equally, I feel you already came with quite a good understanding, although you may not have realized it, and there's a million different nuances, but I think you already came with quite an
Yeah.
understanding.
Thank you. Yeah, I think there's a lot of subconscious knowledge that comes from my background. That it's not something that I consciously necessarily can tell, but I feel it,
Hmm.
and sometimes that's even stronger. But yeah, it has been quite a lot of depth of understanding it to the deeper level. There was and some of these things, bringing them into the conscious mind
Hmm.
and relating to it differently. And I really like what you said in there, that somehow it brings you into more peace, understanding
Hmm.
what is going on with these people, and to let them be, to actually not try to control them, to be support.
Yeah. Yeah, I have, well, as well as my best friend who's dead, I have two other good friends who are not in the best way. And for 14 years, I've had to sit and watch and know I've offered to pay for their rehab. I've
Mhm.
offered other things, and they've actually openly said we're not ready for it, and it'd be a waste of your money.
Yeah.
So I think these are my best friends, my brothers. And it's bloody hard seeing these people and knowing that until they're ready, there is nothing I can really do other than, in my case, stay sober and be the example and be there for them, which I guess we can all do. Be there for them when they are ready.
Yeah, exactly. To show that I am here for you, but I cannot do the work for you.
Hmm.
Right? To be an example of a better life, to be an example of a person who's choosing to do good for self instead of doing harm for self,
Hmm.
but not to try and take them on that together, because the gap is too big. If you're doing such a big harm to yourself, and I am coming in here and telling you how I am this healthy, some sort of enlightened person, you will only feel worse about yourself,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
And that's, I think, some of the mistakes sometimes, when people try to pull somebody out and saying, like, it, by presenting this version of self that is somehow better, it creates more pressure than
Hmm.
support. And
Interest.
listening is something that then gets lost, because I'm telling you how
Yeah.
to be better,
Yeah. Yeah.
instead of
Yeah.
listening to you. What is it that's so difficult for you? Why is it so difficult for you to do better?
Oh.
Mm.
And now you think I need to implore a little bit more of that with my friends, or maybe, you know, open questioning. But yeah, I was about to say it's interesting because one of my other best friends is now coming up to 9 years sober, one of our groups. So we really drank and did lots of naughty things.
So I've heard.
Well, in Alcohol's defense, I've done some stupid stuff sober as well. So my goodness. But and here we are in Bali.
Yeah.
Some might argue starting a rehab after it cost you your house and everything again wasn't perhaps that. In fact, everyone tried to tell me it wasn't the best choice, but I'm bloody glad I didn't listen to most of them, which I wouldn't recommend with everything.
Because you had the deeper reason for it.
The fire, the drive in my belly. Turned my phone on silent, but forgot about my alarm. My bad. Apologies, everyone. Um, I know Dave's going to leave that in to stitch me up. So, and he's nodding. He's nodding, right. But, so that's not going to derail me. So, motivational interviewing. Motivational interviewing. And we spoke a little bit before. Did you have an understanding of motivational interviewing before you came? Or what?
No, we have a bit of a different, in my field, I'm an existential therapist. So we have a bit of a different way of approaching it. It's a different technique, but the end result is similar. Right.
Yeah, yeah.
So that, I think I mentioned, it's will strengthening. So if you say motivational interviewing is looking for motivation, In existentialism, we see it as we're looking for the will, right?
The
And we're
reason
trying to
why.
strengthen the will
Yeah.
for something. So essentially, will is motivation, right?
Yeah,
But
yeah, yeah.
it's looking deeper, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it is actually. So a guy called Simon Sinek, I think I mentioned a different part of him on the one with Simone. He became famous by a talk on the reason why. And it's not, he outlines how people just buy Apple products. They're not necessarily specs wise the best products, but people buy into the philosophy, the design, things like this, not the fact that the Microsoft products are better specs, better on paper, better in every way, cheaper. But they sell the how. You know, this is how we do it. We've got 8 more gigabytes and 20 more RAM and this, that, and the other. They just say why. You want to buy our products. And now you're kind of talking about the reason why, which is what we try and do as well with things like the activities, with healthy living, with some of the exercise. Give them a reason why. Okay, yes. Here's all the, we can give you all the techniques and show you how to get sober, but it's important we give you a taste of why, the will, your will. Because, I have a will to come back to Bali or to go somewhere else, to go on holiday, and drinking's getting in the way of that. I have a will to reconnect with my family, and drugs are getting in the way of that. I have a will to live a life free of the things that are holding me back, and maybe prescription medications getting in the way of that. So, I guess that's one of the components we have to do. And when people complain, we're in Bali, are you? You're sick, and suddenly you get to go to Bali. Why don't you just go to, you know, Acton Hospital in London or, downtown Sydney for treatment? Well, part of it helps with, as well as having a nurturing environment, a more nurturing than some hospital settings, I would argue, gives a bit of the reason why, the will you explained.
Yeah, what I would say, what you're describing is to connect people with the value of life, right?
Mm.
It's not only that I'm doing this because that's not good for me, but I'm finding value. I'm reconnecting with true value in life, with meaning in my life. It's not just that I can do some things, but I actually can do things and feel them and connect with them and be present in them.
Mm.
Addiction takes over. You're not present in your life anymore. You don't sense value in your life anymore. And what happens when people detox and they come and they see, wow, there is so much more to life than just my addiction. There's value in things that I can do day to day that actually brings natural joy in me, natural zest, right? So we're not only treating them, but I would say we're showing them the other side of the value and connection with life, with nature, with other people, right? So it's that connection with more things than just sobriety alone, right? It's what's behind the sobriety.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Simone said, the opposite of addiction is not sobriety. The opposite of addiction is connection. Sobriety is just a fantastic after effect. That came from a TED talk on Rat Park. I forget the fantastic gentleman's name, but we'll plug it. Listen to it. Google, YouTube, TED Talk. Everything I know about addiction is wrong. Rat Park, and you'll come to it. It's eye-opening because this gentleman had family members and close loved ones. He couldn't understand why they kept stumbling, and he thought it was, moral failing or lack of willpower. Why can't you just be different? Why are you choosing this life? And he went on a journey of, okay, I'm going to actually explore this and look into it, and came to a completely different realization. Hence the name. Everything I thought I knew about addiction was wrong. Um, and it's interesting. So he cites in there I think it's the Vietnam War, where something like, and don't quote me on these numbers, 20% of veterans tried heroin, tried opium. And we know from the newspapers at the time that America thought this was going to be an epidemic.
Mm-hmm.
And when that 20% that is reported to have tried it came back, less than 5% of them had a problem with heroin. So he was under the impression it's got chemical hooks, you'll instantly be hooked. Well, 95% of those people that took heroin came back and lived perfectly fine lives. Hence, everything he knew about addiction is wrong. And this thing, the reason it's called Rat Park is it's based on a study. They gave rats, they put them in 2 cages. One had normal water, 2 rats, and water laced with cocaine. And what they found is eventually the rats would try the cocaine water and then just fixate on that to the point they starved to death. And in the other park, they put the same 2 bottles of water, exactly the same 2 bottles of water. But they put everything. They had like a rat circus, trapeze, high jump, long jump, food, lots of companions, different mates, basically a little society, lots of activities, lots of enriching things, different types of food. And some of the people would try the cocaine water, and some of the rats would try the cocaine water, and very quickly they would stop using it. And he argues how important the environment, the cage they were in, impacted, and the fact that they didn't need this because they had a meaningful life. They didn't look to get meaning or pleasure in different ways or to numb the pain in different ways. So, how do you find Bali? What do you think about Bali and rehab in Bali?
Don't ask me about my personal opinions of Bali.
Well,
I think, yeah, I can answer about what I think about rehab in Bali. I'm just thinking if there is anything new I can say. Yeah, I think the good thing about the rehab being in Bali is the fact that it's always good weather.
yeah.
And
Even when it rains, it's nice.
even when it rains, it's still better than many other places to be in. And the fact that the rehab is so beautiful, so it does feel like a resort. And sometimes people actually do forget a bit that they're in the rehab, and they feel like they're in a bit of a resort. So we have to bring them back into work. So it's an interesting dynamic, right? Some people go to more, maybe more painful places, like more medical facilities. They want to experience the real suffering, and there are people in here who want to be connected with the learning, with the what it takes to have that journey, but also reaping the benefits of the activities and I guess what the good weather brings.
Yeah. The vitamin D from the
Mm.
sun, which, well, you studied in England. I'm from England. We don't see much of the sun around there. The locals complain about the rain, and I stand out in it as warm, or certainly compared to our perspective, it's not cold. And I'm like, you guys don't know rain.
Yeah.
We lived in England. We know rain.
We know rain, that's for sure. It's incredible being from Eastern Europe and knowing what cold is, and still
Yeah.
feeling that UK cold is colder than Eastern European cold.
It's a
We
weird
know
thing.
cold.
Yeah, but even the sun, like the couple of times it's sunny a year, it feels more oppressive than the weather here. Like the heat when it's hot in England, it's
Yeah.
bloody really hot.
Yeah.
Doesn't help we don't have aircon and things
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah. You go to the cinema.
Okay.
That's the only place that has AC.
Did you know it only rained twice in the UK last year? Once for 54 days and the other time for 63 days. Sorry, dad joke, but it was a good one.
Yes, you're ready to be a dad.
Hopefully. Yeah, hopefully. Yeah, I'm getting old enough and bold enough. So, what is it you like most? I was going to say, what is it you like most about the aftercare? But I guess you've already touched on that. So I guess I would say, instead, I'll change it. What do you think is the most useful thing for a client about having aftercare?
I think it's several things. First off, when you leave, you have hold straight away. You have a support system, and it's the most intense at the start.
Mm.
And that's when it's most risky at the start, right? And so you have something to lean on, right? I have my counseling appointment. Like I can push through. There is hope, right? I'm feeling so hopeless. Something happened, but I there's a bit of hope because I have that appointment in there. Um, Also, the group sessions is that I am not alone. It's that connection, right? Even if
Mm.
there are some people, we are a 12-step program essentially,
Do bits
but
of it,
not
yeah.
everybody wants to commit to A or an A, and that's fine. People find their own ways, but what's good is that you still have a group to connect with, even if it's not necessarily AAAA, but it is something that you can speak to like-minded people who are trying to live a different life. So yeah, so there's just a lot of support, and there's that possibility that if I am struggling, I know that I'm not alone.
Mm.
Because that's the fear. A lot of people come in and their lives have gone really downhill, and maybe they don't have a support system anymore,
Mhm.
right? And which is sad, but oftentimes that's what it takes. And when they come back home and there isn't a support system, at least they have us. At least they can continue on that, right? They can reconnect with the group that they were with. They can connect with us. They can connect with their support workers. So yeah, you just don't feel alone.
Mm. I like that. And
Mm.
there's something unique about doing it in a place where everyone's been to. You know, the value, unlike, say, the 12-step groups, you've all been in this center together, or you've all been in this center, you've all experienced that, you've all experienced some of the same recovery coaches or therapists. You know, you've all done a lot of the same work in education or in wellness. So I think there's something really nice about that. Even if I don't know you, I know you're my sister or brother in that sense, if that makes sense. Mm.
Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, some sort of community feeling. Even if we weren't at the rehab together, we have a bit of that community feeling in there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And on the 12-step thing is a small part of our program, but we do take clients to meetings. And
Yes.
I I was going to open a program without it. And my philosophy for that was there's enough centers that do it already. And both my uncle and my best friend died rejecting it. So it's a fantastic free organization with free help. Not perfect, like nothing's perfect. We're not perfect. No rehab in the world's perfect. Nothing will ever be perfect. But I was told in no uncertain terms we need to have it in um, by some of the directors, which I'm very glad for. And I actually had some unintended benefits that I didn't know until later down the line. So, obviously, one thing, the obvious is people do it for 28 days with us. They attend some meetings. We do a little bit of the work in house as a little part of an extra, but there's no requirement for them to do it after. So, the day you leave, you never ever have to go to a meeting again, ever. But our aftercare at the minute's 2 years long. What happens if you feel you need a bit of extra support after 2 years and one day, or
Mhm.
3 years, or 10 years? It's there and it's free. And if it stops you coming back to rehab, it is our duty to connect you
Mhm.
appropriately, not claiming to use it as aftercare because that's inappropriate for aftercare and for AA, but as an option. But the unintended thing that I never foresaw, obviously, we only choose to work with people who are ready. And what I didn't realize is it helps rule out some people who aren't willing enough. And I'm sorry if you hear this and you don't like that, but that's on you. Because if I can't convince you to do one little thing for 28 days, 28 days, if I told you, to to jump up and down for 28 days to get sober. I imagine people do it. And I tell them, go to an AA meeting a few times a week for 28 days. And they're like, hell no, you know. But so it tells me something about your readiness that perhaps you don't realize. And I was the same. So I'm guilty of this as well. I thought I was ready. I thought I was desperate, but try AA, try NA, try these God-bothering groups. I now come to realize was a wrong interpretation. But yeah, we lose some clients because they're not willing to try AA for 28 days only. And actually, there are other places you can go without AA. Lots of other places you can go rehabs without AA. But you know, it tells me something about your hunger, readiness, willingness, desperation. If I can't, or the team can't talk you into doing this little thing for 28 days only.
Yeah. To do something that's unpleasant but could bring value to me.
Growth
You can never guarantee that it will, but it could. And what I do like is that we do have AA part is not the only thing about the program whatsoever. It's so many more things, but it is a big part of it. I would say there's a lot of homework that clients need to do, and they're connecting or not connecting with it, right? But there is guidance. You can still learn something from it. But what I like about people that come to us and are not necessarily AA people, it's not really for them. By committing to it, they can definitely have a genuine opinion. I tried, it wasn't for me, but I can see why you like it, right? So it's that commitment to do something that is not necessarily my vibe, but I am still willing to see if there is something I can get from it, right? And that's why we spoke a bit about instant gratification, is that idea, if it's not 100% for me, that means I don't want it. But can I do something that I don't really want to, and find one thing that's good for me, two things that are good for me, right? And know that there is an opportunity for that to actually help me at some point when maybe I'm going to be in a different stage of life, right? And it's interesting how sometimes people don't like it, and at some point something difficult is really happening, and then they connect with it, right? And that's why that having that opportunity and committing to do something that maybe I don't feel value in at this moment, but maybe I will in the future. That's what really makes a difference too.
Yeah. And do it meaningfully.
Mm-hmm.
A mistake I made with, again, meditation was, oh no, I've tried that. How long did you try it for? Did you try it for a month, 3 months? No, I tried 3 sessions. Okay, and I believed I'd tried it. I've now come to realize that's not trying it. You know, it'd be like me trying to drive a car 3 times and go, no, I can't do it. Can't do it. You know, or sat in school, no, I can't read. Tried 3 times, it's over. I'm never going to read my whole life. And I did that with meditation, and, you know, or how many types of meditation have you tried? I would have gone, there's different types of meditation. Yeah, there's hundreds of different types, but I had no idea. I just blindly believed I tried it because I'd done 3 sessions of one type of meditation and convinced myself it didn't work for me, which was a valuable lesson for me because it learns to honestly say something isn't for me. I have to try it meaningfully, which is not 3 sessions, which is not an hour and a half in total of me going, yeah, this isn't for me.
Yeah.
So feels like we're kind of coming to a natural close. If you could say one thing to people struggling with addiction or alcoholism, what would be the one thing you say to them?
I would probably ask them, do you think there is a chance that life can be better? Yeah.
Nice. And I think we'll wrap it up there. Great work. Grow up.